Yo, 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 welcome to Crate 808. And one of my favourite times of the year is when the hip-hop heads talk horror together. And that's what we're doing today. Because apparently in space, no one can hear you scream. And we're going to dissect if that's true or not. Actually, I looked into that and we're going to go into that. But I have got here with me today a special guest panel. It's the hip-hop heads who love to talk horror. Thomas Hobbs, Myke-C Town, Alaska Atoms, all in the house. How are you all doing? Thomas, I'll start with you. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, really good, really good. Really looking forward to this chat. I've been thinking a lot about the rap album that Alien is like. Maybe been thinking about it too much. So yeah, it's great. It's great to talk about that and chop it up with the fellas as well.
Wicked. There's a little tease in some categories we've got coming up as well. What rap album would this film be? I'm not even introduced the film. I've just realised the film we're talking about today, 45 years since the release of 1979 sci-fi classic horror monument, Alien. Alien is what we're talking about today. Mike, how are you doing? How are you feeling before this Alien loving?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm excited to talk about this. This is one of my favorite films, so I'm stoked to dive into this. I'm really interested to hear y'all's pick because I had a couple that I had some trouble with. So
okay, me too. Don't worry, I made a rod from my own back. I didn't answer all these categories. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't. But Alaska, how are you, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing well. Long time no speak.
We literally linked yesterday to talk Scarface on the Call Out Culture podcast. So
yeah, I'm good. Just enjoying life right now.
Good. I like that. Well, let's kick it off then, right? Alien, there's so much been written, documented, analysed, over-analysed, some would say, about this film. We are going to do spoilers. So anyone who somehow has avoided watching Alien or any of this franchise, there are spoilers ahead. All this is going to be spoilers. But I'm going to start with Journey with the film. Where did you first get with it? Where are you with it now? Alaska, let me know, man. Where did you first find this film?
I remember watching it when I was younger, and similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like when I watched it when I was like 12, I didn't like it because I was expecting this like sort of gory horror fest, and neither of those films were that. It wasn't until I was older and like I watched it again, like I was like, I need to see this. I'm missing something, and I was just blown away by like how incredibly creepy and claustrophobic it is. Which I know has like been dissected and mentioned to death, but it's like, it's just almost a perfect movie, really. Like every time I watch it, I find something new to focus in on that kind of just like keeps me wrapped with attention. Like last night when I was watching it, I was just like absorbed by I don't know if absorbed's the right word, but just like blown away by the design of the ship and how lived in that whole ship is. Like, when they're just running around, it's like, it almost looks like they're running around through people's basements at times, right? Like the way there's just shit piled up in the corner, the way you do at your crib where you're like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just putting it in the corner.
Yeah.
Like the little subtle details in there are just beautiful, but I love this movie. I could watch it anytime. I don't like I don't like the sequels at all.
Aliens?
Like, I think the second movie sucks.
Boo. We got to dig into that.
I'm one of the
bro.
few people that thinks that, but I think it's fucking trash.
We got to dig into that. I watched that yesterday.
Yeah, I despise it.
Okay, already.
But I like Covenant. So, what the fuck do I know?
But you like Covenant?
Yeah.
Get out. I'm not having that. I'm not on here. I can't. What? You're so confusing to me now. I don't know what to think about you. Thomas, journey with the film, my friend. First watching it, coming across it.
Yeah. So at school, I had work experience, and I did it in like the local VHS rental shop in my town, and it was like a really cool 2 weeks because all I did was watch films with the woman that worked there.
Oh,
and,
wicked.
I think, just seeing it on the shelf, it's just that holy grail, like, of covers. And I think the VHS version that was around at that point was like, had that tagline, in space, no one can hear you scream. And I think that is like one of the all-time great lines to generate just this kind of mystique around a movie. You instantly just want to find it. I think I remember seeing that space with that poster with the big green egg.
Yeah.
And
All time.
and being like, right, I'm going to watch this. So I'm not going to name names and snitch on the woman that I work with because, well, you know what, she wouldn't lose her job now. This was years ago, but she probably would have lost her job if like they found out because it was like an 18 and I was like still in school. But like we watched it and I was just like, don't know, just like mesmerized by it. You know, the same way Alaska said, like the kind of the dread that like permeates through the film. And I think just it was one of the first movies where you could read so much into it if you wanted to. You could sit for hours and hours and come up with theories. And I just remember it just like kind of Kubrick did with The Shining. It was one of those movies that once I saw it once, like I got the DVD and then I got the Blu-ray and just kept watching it over and over and trying to pick up new things to the point where like, I don't know, like the bit when they go to that ship, that derelict ship for the first time, like the Nostromo crew go there. And it's, to me, I don't know, like it kind of feels a little bit like a big uterus and like, like they're crawling through, do you know what I mean? Like kind of fallopian tubes. And then when they see everything, it's all very like reproductive organs inside. And I just think from the beginning, there's this real smart thing that it does where it like plays around with kind of those kind of like that body science and that visceral feel of, you know, reproduction, and it just builds this feeling in your stomach. So like when the horror comes, like it just really kind of like, I don't know, like ravages you in a way that's like so powerful because it's already played with you on like a molecule level, I would say, as a film. So yeah, I think that's when, and it just became an obsession. And one thing I would say also is like, maybe we'll talk about this later. I'm sorry, I've spoken too long already, but the video game Alien Isolation is just like so perfect. Like to me, that is almost like the original Alien spiritual successor. And I think when that game came out and they've got this DLC in it, and it confirms like one of the characters was like raped in the original movie, which is always hinted at. And the game's so gnarly and it's so great. Then that just kind of like sparked like a new love affair with Alien again, to the point where like, you know, then I would start like studying its music and how powerful the music is. And so, yeah, I think it's just one of those movies you could watch it 100 times and every time you could come away with a different theory about what it was about. Yeah. And I think that that is a really powerful thing. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely agree. Mike, how about you?
Sort of similar to Thomas. I didn't have a hot coworker woman to watch it with.
Did he say she was hot? Did she say she was
I
hot?
just assume Thomas seems like he only hangs out with hot women.
I love this. I love you, man. No, I'm going to let you assume.
But yeah, I also got it from a video store. I think I mentioned before to you guys that me and my mom would go and rent videos from the local place down the road. And this is another one. I don't think I really knew what sci-fi was when I was a kid. And I want to say this was probably in the horror section.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting it home and putting it on, I remember liking it, but I don't remember loving it. So I'm kind of with Alaska on that one. The funny thing is, what made me go back to this is when I saw the sequel.
Yes. And
how much I fell in love with the sequel, and it made me go back to the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is such an impactful film for me. I can't remember if I mentioned this before also, but a xenomorph was actually my second tattoo when I was like 17. I got a xenomorph on my leg.
On your leg?
It's like on my calf. I mean, that's kind of what you did when you were like a hardcore kid. It's like you have to get your calf tattooed.
Yeah.
So I couldn't think of anything cool. So I was like, oh, xenomorph, you know?
But, do you know what? That's going to tap into something I want to ask later. Top horror monsters in film. I think a xenomorph might be top, you know, and the fact that you got the top horror monster on your leg, fair play to you, man. Fair play.
But the original xenomorph, not the one in any of the other movies, I don't think.
I'm absolutely with that. I've watched a few of them back to back recently, and I'm like, do you know what? The first one still is the one, isn't it? Mike, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us, my friend. For me, it was kind of, I think it's funny that we all group in that kind of same generation. Video stores. I miss that shit, man. And I've talked about this video store. I want to find out where this guy is now. He's probably not even alive now, but he had a RoboCop arcade machine and a video store where horror was easily accessible for a 7-year-old. I could easily just pick a case up. It was not right. I could just picked any case up. And that was it. And it was Aliens. It was actually Aliens that I first got into because of the imagery in the back cover. If you look at the back cover, she's in the suit, and you're like, oh right. And that's as a kid, I don't know, you watch Centurions and you're watching Visionaries and all this shit. So any woman in a big suit fighting an alien, I'm in. So yeah, then I went back, and then we will talk about why this film holds up so much. But one of the biggest cases is that chest burster scene. It's classic, and that it just imprinted on my mind as a kid. And I don't remember if you remember this, Thomas, but in England, there used to be Mark Kermode, who's a really highly respected film critic. I really enjoy him. He used to do like this, him and Mark Cousins used to do like this 5-minute intro to a film on BBC One or BBC Two. And he did Scarface, he did like all these different films. And Alien, he did one to Alien, and he was like, in 5 minutes, he sums up why it's so important. And I always remember that. I don't know, before Alien. And maybe it was on my VHS that I taped, but that was always big ahead of it. But I don't remember that, Thomas, that going on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I do remember seeing that when I was a lot younger. But also, I think it had like a huge impact on music as well. The score, like especially in like the UK, like a lot of like drum and bass and jungle music would like sample a lot of the synth lines that like were in Jerry Goldsmith's score. So it's like, it's one of those movies where it's like, I don't know, like its ripples are quite wide. Do you know what I mean? Like but I actually agree with the other guys in that maybe when I first saw it, I did think it was quite slow. Like I did like it a lot and I became obsessed with it. But I think when I was a teenager, I did prefer Aliens because I just felt like it was just so much more fun. But I think getting older is realizing that Alien is the better film because it's got such incredible pacing and it builds horror in such a kind of crazy way. So I think that is usually like maybe the transition that a lot of people have. They almost like prefer Aliens at first because it's more exciting, like, you know, but then as you get older, you start to appreciate the kind of subtleties with Alien, and a lot like Alaska said, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's the same. Like when I used to watch it as a kid, I was like, this isn't all that. Like, you know, there's no real kills. You don't see any violence. Like I was a little gore fiend at like Tom Savini. So I was like, but as you get older, you realize that is what makes the film so genius. Like because it leaves you to imagine what's happening.
Yeah. That absolutely.
Yeah, so I think Alien's the same type of movie. You grow up and you love it even more.
Yeah, no, 100%, absolutely agree. I think going into that then, by the way, on Aliens, do you know what it was as well? That 80s muscle genre, that there was muscly men with massive guns shooting things. It was deceiving. It's a bit of a Trojan horse because I assumed that was what I was going to get. But this is so much deeper. There was so much more world building going on than Cobra, you know. And I love Cobra, but do you know what I mean? Like this ain't Cobra. But yet it was sold kind of to me with the video store and the poster and the imagery that Aliens was going to be that. Alien definitely isn't that. On that then, Alien, 1979, 45 years. Even today, I think there's fresh articles every few months about this film that come out with assessments of it. And it just makes me think about why this film has held up and why it lasted, especially when you put it in the context that the critics at the time were really lukewarm. And it had a massive critical reassessment as it grew older. But I was looking at it, and you guys have all touched on these points, so I'm glad we're on the same pages. But if I kick it, I just want to start with, I think it is, you said there, Thomas, slow for a younger brain, maybe too slow, but you think it's reserved, patient, it keeps its monsters in the shadows. That's one of the biggest things for a film as a kid was, I'm not getting to see this, and it's edited so well. I'm not even sure what it looked like. At the end of the first few viewings, I was like, what did it even look like? I remember a bit, but how was it standing? How many legs did it have? And then as I've grown older, I've realised it is just a very cerebral slasher film. It is a slasher genre for me. Yeah. And I think the fact that Ridley Scott was totally informed by Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Everyone says this is like Jaws in space, right? Star Wars, Jaws, all mixed together. But Texas Chainsaw, I will always shout that. And Ridley Scott himself said that's what he wanted. He wanted that cerebral slasher feel to it. For you guys, why do you think it has held up? What is the power of it that still holds us today? Mike, kick us off, man.
I I think the reason it's held up so well is because it was doing things that a lot of other films hadn't done before. It was extremely slow. It was very dark. It was edited beautifully. And I think it was Alaska that mentioned this, or maybe it was Thomas, I can't remember, but the set design, the design of the ship, I mean, that was next level. To where, I mean, even when I watched it last night to prepare for this, I was just like, man, this looks like it was made today. It looks so fucking good. But I think the reason it's held together so well over all these years is because nothing's touched it. Even though a lot of films have tried to emulate what it did, nothing has touched it yet. And I think that's unbelievably impressive. And when we get into the discussion about aliens, I'll talk about the dichotomy there. But yeah, that's my take on that.
Just sort of spin off the back up before we get to Alaska. That what you said there, I looked at like, change the landscape. It's a blueprint for sci-fi horror. People say this a lot. So I looked at like the context of what became before Alien and what came after Alien. So before, in this world, we had Planet of the Apes, Close Encounters, Soylent Green, Solaris. Obviously, then you have Jaws. Obviously, then you have like Star Wars, and that kind of has informed this film. But after, you get The Thing, and you get Predator, and I'm like, I don't know if The Thing or Predator would have been as they are if it weren't for Alien years before doing what it did. But Alaska, for you, this new, like, look, Pitch Black with the Riddick guy, Pitch Black. Remember that? That's Aliens. We're just doing Aliens here, aren't we, people? Event Horizon, all these even newer ones like Life, and there's one called Prospect I watched a while back where I was like, this is just Aliens again.
Life? Is it good?
2017's Life, it is okay. It's all right. It's not like I don't know if I'll release it
all the time, and I'm like, check it.
Yeah,
I think I watched that. Is it like they find like a little gooey thing and no, it's actually pretty good.
Oh, you like that?
The one with Gyllenhaal, right? Or am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, I think it is him.
He was in this.
Yeah. Okay.
Has it got Ryan Reynolds in it as well? Or am I imagining
it does.
Yeah, okay.
It does. A very young Ryan Reynolds. It's solid. Yeah. It's not amazing, but it's good.
Okay.
I'll check it out.
But Alaska, for you, why has this held up? If you've got anything to spin off about like before, after, the context of Alien in that aspect as well, please bring it, man.
I mean, I think a large part of it is because the themes, you can find themes in this movie regardless of your age.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you're very old, you're seeing yourself being wiped away by a superior species of youth, the alien representing the youth. If you're in your 20s to your 60s, you see yourself in the labor versus the corporation fight that's going on and the deception that happens there. And even like as we get further and further, like the technology that we see billionaires building space programs, right? So how far away are we from something like this actually being a reality where it's like, we're going to go mine other planets? I mean, it might be like 200, 300, 400 years, but we're moving in that direction. And I think, or if you're just looking for scares, that's there. Like there's so much in this movie that's there. It's not one thing, and none of them necessarily beat you over the head where it's like, this is a sci-fi movie. Only sci-fi nerds will get this. This is a horror movie. Oh, this is a movie that's about labor, or this is a movie that's about gender politics, or it's this, but it's all in there.
Yes.
Right. So like nobody's forcing you to like beat you over the head with it, but you see different things every time you go to it. So every time you go to it at different points in your life, there's a refresh and you're picking up on new things. It's not, I guess, like a one point of view movie. It's like 90 points of view put in there that you could pick up upon at any time in your life. And I think that's missing in a lot of movies today.
Yeah, I totally agree. The fact that Scott wanted to make it wanted to make it basic and not highbrow, not too highbrow, I think that were his words. And you think, this has got Vietnam in it. This has got guerrilla warfare against an unknown enemy. Like, you can't see the enemy. It's that, definitely. You've got all the stuff, the class device, bro. The whole film kicks off with the guys moaning about bonuses and money. I love that. Yeah. Blue collar shit, Texas again, blue collar shit in there. And it's just like illuminating these corporate power structures. As a kid, I didn't know anything about these power structures. Then you start to see it in films you love. You're like, oh shit, this is actually about poor people and rich people, isn't it? And yeah, you're right. And actually on that though, we talked about gender and gender politics. I had to bring in Thomas here, man. And obviously how you think it's held up as well. But this thematically rich piece, Thomas did nail it in one of his amazing pieces about gender, also like sexual assault, rape, pregnancy, all that. Thomas, please let us know about your little take that we talked about earlier. Bring it, man.
I think if you watch the Aliens director's cut, there's like this scene at the beginning where they talk through what happened to the Nostromo crew, to Ripley, and they doubt whether or not her story's true, you know, in that kind of boardroom. And it flashes up. And I remember like Lambert's bio, like read, despite conversion birth from male to female, so far there's no signs of suppressed trauma from gender reassignment. So there's all this kind of stuff around like trans, like that kind of that transition that happens when you change gender. And I think when you watch it under that lens, like it just completely changes the dynamics of the movie, like realizing that Lambert, you know, might have that suppressed trauma that it kind of alludes to in that statement. Is that something like body dysmorphia, or could that be something even deeper? And like, she is the character. Like for me, that's the scariest part of the movie, when you hear over the tannoy or whatever, her scream, because the way the kind of tail goes through the xenomorph's leg, it really does suggest that like that is some sort of like rape sequence. And like, I think Ridley Scott on his audio commentary for the Blu-ray like says that, is this a horrible rape? Like he strongly alludes that that was what the original aim is. And I think it just gives everything such a dark edge, this idea that this character that's kind of transitioned and gets raped, and you push that. And I just think that you know, with all these kind of urban legends that have come out about how like Geiger, who you know, designed the xenomorph, how the actual look of the xenomorph was inspired by him taking LSD and having sex with two transgender women. I think he said in an interview, and it's just a bizarre thing. That he's a strange character, and if you read like the kind of his descriptions of the designs, it can be quite like repulsive. Like he's talking about like penises and like venereal diseases, but I think all of it has this like strange kind of like edge to it, not even strange, just kind of dark edge to it. It's just, you know, when you think of Geiger and how eccentric he is, like I think that strangeness comes out like in the backgrounds, like everything's quite psychedelic to look at. And like if you look at the shapes, they actually look a bit like the xenomorph's head. So even when they're in the kitchen, you're like, oh, it's over there, it's over there. And just I think all of that type of stuff is probably you know, what I love, and kind of what that thought of just like maybe you know, one of the characters like being a lot deeper than you think. I think that just touches to the fact that you could keep watching this movie and picking up new things that are kind of like buried in the storyline. And that's quite rare today that you get that with movies, I think. Like, like I don't know, in that way anyway.
Well, I think nowadays, Thomas, sorry to cut in there, but I think nowadays, this is another thing I noticed on a rewatch, was like, I think nowadays, everyone has to have that kind of situation where it's a therapized kind of look at stuff, and like, oh, this guy's got some trauma from somewhere else. And there's always like a tap into some old trauma in most of these horror films. This film, the trauma is very real right there in front of you. The trauma is happening to them as they're like, there's no analysis. Like, you know, there's nothing about Lambert back in the day in the first one. In the second one, that bio is there. So maybe you can read that in. But that first one's so lean. It's like, there's none of that. This is happening to them right now. The worry is bonuses or, you know, that kind of thing, or just completely waiving quarantine rules, which is hilarious. But so let's go into this then. I had a few more of the bits here, and actually, you know, the gender thing, I was just sitting there slightly stoned and having this thing of the ship's called Mother. These pods they wake up from when you grow up, they're like eggs, aren't they? They're straight away. Everything ties in so nicely. And pretty much, you know, when you have it in your head and you're watching the film, vaginas are just everywhere, aren't they? Like he's just literally, they're just constant. Even when they're looking at the facehugger and they're like trying to think, I'm like, this is all just disgusting Geiger thoughts, all just put together. Absolutely. Guys, we've got to talk about this then. I mean, when we talk about music on this show, we talk about 5 mic moments of moment of perfection, right? So let's do this for film, and it's a 5 mic moment in this film is that chest burster scene. I just want to hear from you guys. Thoughts, feelings, first time you saw it. Alaska, hit me, man.
I mean, my first memories of it were like in Mad Magazine and stuff like that. Like, you know, like to me, it's almost, my memories of it are more like the spoofs of it. Like, I forgot what movie it was where like it bursts out And it's like, then it like goes into like some, hello, my
Is it
baby, hello, my
Spaceballs?
dog.
Yeah.
What movie was that from?
Spaceballs.
Like those are my original memories of it.
I love
Like
the fact
that's
you
where it
brought
really
Spaceballs.
stands out to me. And when I watch it now, I kind of expect that, and I'm always surprised at how gnarly it actually is. Like I expect it to be comical.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's really
It's
terrifying.
really bad. Yeah. They hook the whole film on it. Think how
Yeah.
important it has to be for the designers, for the director, for the coverage of that shot, for the actors. Guys, the whole film is this. This is what they hooked the whole film on.
That's a shift right there, right? Because it's like, it's happy going into it. Everybody's happy. They got those weird cereal boxes that they're eating food out of.
Yeah.
He's eating nasty, like cabbage noodle thing.
Yeah.
But everybody's happy. They're smiling. They're joking. And then at that moment, it just like, boom, it's on.
Boom. Yeah. And you just watch Ash. I love to just watch Ash sometimes and just watch his reaction to everything. And it's so knowing. Mike, for you, chestburster scene, when did you first even see this? Do you remember the first moment?
I think I saw this when I was like 10. So, I mean, I don't remember specifically, but I mean, I definitely feel Alaska on the spoofs because I think about the hello, my baby, hello, my honey thing all the time too. But I do think that this scene is just so well done because Scott had such a unique way of, making sure that something comes across realistic. And, of course they knew that, there was going to be a chest burster scene, but they didn't know that they were going to get sprayed with blood is something I read. And I think that that's actually kind of fascinating. When you watch the film, you kind of get that, there's no like fake, like, like you can tell Lambert is like, motherfucker, what? Like all over my face. But I think that scene's so good because it actually goes uncomfortably long if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if that was today, it would be, oh God, he rolls over and it's out. But in this, he coughs for a second. They're trying to stick a fork in his mouth.
Yeah.
He's rolling around. He's fucking hyperventilating or whatever. The blood comes out. And then you have another like minute or so before the thing actually comes out.
Yeah.
So I think that that's so fucking well done because it adds so much tension because when you watch it, I imagine for the first time, you're like, I don't know what the fuck is happening right now.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on with this dude.
None of it, and the actors. I have written this down about like I watched because there's so many urban myths. And big up Halloweenies, they did do a 3-part series on Alien. Do go check that out. It's amazing. It's so detailed, and they were talking on there what actually happened that time. And it was so basically this is how it went. First of all, it smelled awful. Like, so this is, again, the Texas vibe. The set was awful. It was like stomachs and livers and shit like that from the slaughterhouse. And you think that sounds awful. So the actors didn't see the alien, didn't know how it would look when it came out. They just knew it would be born. And then they filmed the reaction to the choking, did the choking bit, cut, everyone disbands, set up the next shot. And apparently the first take, the chest didn't burst. Second one, they did, but it wasn't good. And the next cut is when Ridley Scott said to them, all right, obviously they know something's going to burst. Just don't tell them, go nuts with the blood. Like just put 6 gallons of blood into this thing, right? And the reason, that one of my, everyone has the Willem scream and all that stuff. Mine is that Lambert's, when she gets hit by it, and that sound she makes, it just lives in my brain. And
she fainted, I think. That
she did a backflip, bro.
Yeah.
She did a backflip.
Yeah.
Like she fell backwards, did a backflip because apparently the hose Veronica chucked it. It was just aimed at her. It was literally, she got 2 liters in her face, like straight off the bat. And it's just the amount of blood that's coming at you. But apparently, listening to it and reading about it, this actually got the actors completely more invested. After they'd seen this, they were like, holy shit, okay, let's go. And I'm so glad you say it went on for long, and I'm glad it did. I'm so glad they cut the possible thing at the end, which is they were supposed to have another shot of it skirting off. And I think even the half second you get is so funny. If you are just very stoned, that's hilarious. Like, look how it's skirted away. Obviously, as a kid, it's not that way at all. But I'm so glad they didn't put that extra shot in. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's such a good scene because it's kind of part of this tradition of the late 70s where there were all these incredible jump sequences. Like you obviously had the end scene in like Carrie where she puts her hand up at the grave, and then you had like Jaws where the head pops up. and then obviously you had the chest burster that came out. So there was this really like cool lineage at the time of these like things just happening out of nowhere, you know. And I think maybe, you know, I don't want to like say a dissertation on it, but maybe that says a lot to how America felt in the late 70s. Like, you know, like maybe there's a metaphor there to just sudden chaos coming out of nowhere, or sudden darkness. So I think that's a big part of like why it's such a cool sequence. I think it's like genius in terms of just building tension, like Mike said. And I think, you know, you just, even when you know it's coming, it still shocks you somehow. And I think the great jump sequences like the head in Jaws do that. Like every time I know that's going to happen, and I still like jump out of my seat. And I think that is just tribute to like how incredible kind of Ridley Scott shoots it. But I would argue like my favorite scene in the movie has always been just the bit where they first land on the planet. Like it comes down, and just I love that scene because I just think the music at that point is so cool. Like it kind of sounds like an ancient scream or something like that. It's just really strange. And I think when you like find out like the way that he did it, like Goldsmith apparently like ran like an Indian conch shell for a cassette, like a broken cassette player. So when you hear it, it's like, ooh, it's like that is because of the way he kind of constructed that music. And I think, you know, as great as it is as a movie, a lot of the times the music is what's building the tension. You know, the scene, even the kind of chest burster scene, like in the build up to some of those sequences, the music is so subtle, and it's doing so much to kind of add another layer to that tension. So yeah, I agree that that's like the iconic scene, but I think also the music, it's almost at the same level for me in terms of like why, you know, we still talk about it.
Yeah, I think absolutely right, definitely. And the use of silence in this film is amazing. And the use of just the is it didactic sound, where it's just, it feels like the whole ship is like talking or breathing or something. I mean, you hear, I love that. I just wanted to cap off the chest burster scene section because I remember listening to this quote. This might be the commentary, but because obviously Ridley Scott loves Kubrick, loves 2001. Kubrick calls him up after this film and says like, oh, how did you do that how on earth did you do that chest burster scene? Oh yeah, we did this with the thing. Thanks, bye, bing, put the phone down on him. And like, this is amazing. Even the greatest ever was just stealing shit from Ridley Scott, just stealing shit. I don't know where we used it again, but yeah, no, amazing how these guys kind of liaise with each other. I just want to we're going to jump into like, the trailer, the poster, stuff like that as well. Other moments as well that you guys all love. I just want to touch on the authenticity, because you guys and design of it all, because that kind of informs the authenticity, I suppose. What you guys have all touched on already, the design of it. And I think just going to the cast, the design of the cast is so faceless. Because I remember as a kid, I didn't really know who to root for. Like, who's the guy? Oh, Skerritt's the guy. Oh, Dallas. All right, so that's the guy. Oh, no. And it's that real interesting play on who am I following here? And
who's the hero?
Yeah, who's the hero? Harry Dean Stanton's a G. I just always got, you know, I was like, this guy's amazing. Just the way he's like, right, that whole bit is great. And that's that. I think the authenticity of that is great. Then you've got the dialogue, and you've got all the Altman films right beforehand. Everyone cross dialogue, talking over each other. Definitely in this situation as well. I thought the design. Ron Cobb, man, big up this guy, Ron Cobb. This is some lived in and thought out concept shit, right? You know, so I was went to what else he'd done, and imagine having this: Dark Star, Star Wars, already, Alien, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Conan the Barbarian, with the design of that is amazing. Back to the Future, and then Total Recall, and then he let us all down with Southland Tales. But that, come on, like pound for pound. I can't think of, I know Savini's amazing for his design and stuff, but if you're talking about just film design, Jesus, that is incredible. But yeah, amazing. I think you talked about it all, but how everything looks like skeletal stuff as well. Yeah, I love that, man. Absolutely. You know, one thing that really tripped me out on this recent watch, again, stuff you watch, like, you know, the chest burster scene. I like to watch people's reactions to it all, and I enjoy that. But you know, the first egg that, I have no idea why he looks in this shit. Why are you even looking in here? But they do like this. The design of the egg is amazing, because you have a close-up shot of it, and just before it opens, and the liquid is falling upwards.
Yeah. I've seen that.
That is so creepy to me. I don't know what you guys thought of that, but these little really weird, trippy moments where I'm like, what is going on?
You know the way you said that the film's like the silence is really important. I think the dark colors are really important as well. Like you you don't see a lot, but it's that it uses just black in such an interesting way. It's quite reminiscent of a lot of the horror in the 1940s and like people like Val Lewton. And if you watch a movie like Cat People, it's all about what's in the shadow. You know, there's that famous scene in that movie with the woman's in the swimming pool, and you don't see the killer leopard or whatever it is like once, but you feel like you've seen it. And I think Alien kind of follows in that tradition. Like it uses the darkness to like create suggestion in your head constantly, and that makes the movie more like a kind of experience than just a mere film, right? It has an effect on your stomach, like on your senses. I think not every great movie like stirs every one of your senses, whereas I think with this it like genuinely does. Maybe. Yeah,
I feel you. For you guys, Sigourney Weaver, obviously the heroine in it. I also want to hear about some of your favorite characters and why you enjoy them in this. Obviously, Sigourney is like one of the ones. She's so fully formed. It's mad how fully formed she seems to be in this film. Yeah. For you guys, Alaska, please hit me.
Favorite characters, huh? I love Yaphet Kotto's character. I love Harry Dean Stanton. Like those two guys to me are like, those are the people I would have been friends with.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like
I can see you down there.
Yeah, like just like they would be the guys I would want to go drinking with.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so like I really enjoy those characters, and I love how they're not like set up for comic relief. Like, you know, they're not like the machinist bumpkins who are like just there to be like the fodder for like the smarter scientist jokes or whatever. They're like equal members of the crew despite their bonus structure. Like those are probably my favorite characters. My least favorite character is the fucking cat.
Everyone, what the fuck? We're going to come to some like picking some nits on this film, but that cat, jeez, we will get to that.
I think the cat's in league with that.
They all are. All the cats are in league with xenomorphs. Absolutely. Yeah. Do you know what bit I love about them too? Their chemistry is when they, what's she say now, where they're like, how many hours are it going to take? Tell them it's 18 hours, 25 hours. It's going to take 25. That's every builder I've ever known around my house. Is like, always overestimate this shit.
But there's value in overestimating and under-delivering.
Yes.
Right? If you tell somebody it's going to be 25 hours, you get there in 18, they're like, wow, you're really good.
Yeah, true. You're very right. You're very right. On that, you know, you talked about that actual scene when they're doing that, just the design and the shots, and shout out Ridley Scott, whoever his director of photography is here at the situation. You know, when they're talking and arguing, they could just argue in a banal room somewhere, but they're not. There's loads of strobe lights and fucking steam coming off shit and all this. And you're like, what? You could have set this scene anywhere, but you're really showing me the nitty gritty of this ship. It's amazing. Mike, for you, characters or just like dialogue, anything that, you know, that you want to jump on?
Brett is easily my favorite character. I mean, I still do that shit. Right. Nobody gets it, but I giggle to myself. I mean, I love that one scene where I think it's Ripley. It's either Ripley or Lambert that's just getting really frustrated. And she's like, every time he says something, you just say right. And he just goes, right. And then when they get up to leave because something else is happening, they're going to the other room.
Yeah.
And he's by himself, right. And he gets up and it cracks me up every single time. And he's such a good actor because like Alaska said, it's not comic relief, but it still kind of makes you laugh. Mm-hmm. But that all, like the fact that he's so kind of stoic and doesn't really show a lot of emotion, when the xenomorph finally gets him, the look on his face is fucking terrifying because he just, oh man, it's such a good scene. But yeah, Brett's my man.
Yeah, Harry Dean's, absolutely love that, definitely. Thomas, for you?
Definitely Ripley. I just think that's such a legendary character, and I think, you know, there's definitely nowadays when you see like feminism broached in like a Hollywood movie, it can feel quite signposted and almost like a chief marketing officer might have like written the dialogue. Whereas with this film, like it's so feminist, but not so like overtly to the point where it feels, do you know what I mean? Like just like put in there in a kind of unnatural way. It's like, you know, she's always struggling to be heard in every room. Yeah, it's her logic that ends up ultimately prevailing, and she's the one that, you know, survives. And I think just how strong she is, how like, you know, you could see that leading even today in a game like The Last of Us 2 of a character like Abby. It's very, you know, Ripley has that through line all the way through of like being feminine but hyper masculine at the same time, which is really interesting. But also the cat, like I love Jonesy. I'm sorry, I love that fucking cat. I'll tell you why I love that cat, because I've got a ginger cat and they're the best. And also, he's the only one that stands up to the alien and barks in his face. Like he barks in that fucker's face. Like, you know, like he hisses at him. He stands his ground. Like the rest of them are running through those corridors, looking sweaty, looking terrified. You know, like some of them go out like bitches, frankly. Whereas my man Jonesy, he kept it strong the whole time. So salute to that. I love that fucking cat.
I see Mike nodding vigorously. Like, yeah, big time.
Oh yeah, I love Jonesy. I mean, he's pretty fucking smart. The thing I do agree with Thomas that he does fucking hiss at him, but the smartest thing is when he finds out that there's some shit on the ship, the first thing he does, I'm gonna go hide in this drawer. You motherfuckers go look for it. I'm chilling over here. Y'all let me know when you're done, and then you come fucking up my fucking hiding space. Yeah, he's smart. He's like, I'm gonna bounce, man. I'm not fucking with this thing.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I always, again, on the rewatch, I clocked it, but I'm like, what? First of all, I can understand why there is a cat on the ship. I do understand that relationship some people might need. I don't know how he got on the ship because it's not in the pod, but if you watch it again and you watch the film from the beginning, there is that box that kind of slightly shakes in the first like minute. I don't know if you've seen it. The panel shots,
I never noticed that.
If you look at the Stromo, there's a box on this thing, and for some reason it just goes shakes, and that's it. There's no explanation, no nothing, and I'm like, oh, that's the cat then, right? Like that. I'm assuming they put a cat in a little box or something. I don't know, but again, please do, people out there, hit me up or let me know. But I've got lots of little trivia bits I will jump into. But yeah,
sorry, Cam.
No, sorry, Mike.
I always assumed that the cat was just in the pod with one of the other people. I never ever thought about it, but that's actually kind of interesting, and I never noticed that box. So now I want to go back and look.
Yeah, unless I was tripping. I did rewind it and I was like, yeah, that definitely moved.
Yeah.
I feel like they wouldn't put the cat in a box with somebody because, like, if the cat wakes up, it will start nibbling on the person. Like, you always hear about, like, like die in their apartment and their cats start eating them.
Yeah, this is true.
Like,
that's such a New York
shut-in
story.
that dies in their apartment, half eaten by their cats.
Okay, yeah. Well, again, just little things that you pick up as you're going through, isn't it? Really, I suppose. But I think that's I've talked about characters. I think the whole idea of androids, cyborgs. Do you remember that old film, Jean-Claude Van Damme with Cyborg? Remember that film? I don't know if anyone remembers that film. I remember that being I fucking used to watch that a lot. And I'm like, Jesus, this whole idea of androids and that, and the way they use Ian Holm as Ash, and being that geek, yeah. So all the androids are named over the alphabet, aren't they? So it's Ash.
I was going to say, sorry to interject, but also like what you said there is so interesting because that AI as well, that link to AI and this idea that its language is rooted in this capitalist mindset. So if you think about AI, who programs it to speak the way that it speaks? Well, it tends to be white, middle to upper class people that have maybe quite racist views, maybe quite, I don't know, like quite right-leaning views. And the AI on the Nostromo, like, you know, that Android Ash, like, is very much an extension of like the CEO at the top. So he's, you know, so I think that you could draw that link with that character, and that's so interesting. It just shows how relevant and ahead of the curve it was to sort of to present that AI in the way that it does is like really forward thinking as well.
Yeah, and that whole Wayland timeline is exactly that through the comics and the books and everything, all of the films. And I think Ian Holm in this is so good when you see his just responses to things. The first thing when Mother starts shouting straight away, bang, you better answer that. Like, he's straight on it. Like, he obviously has this. So just watching it is such a rewarding experience seeing it his view. But even just the bit which always confused me as a kid, I was like, why is he trying to suffocate her with a magazine?
Yeah,
that still threw me.
It's like, I mean, obviously,
what I read, it's weird, man. I never thought about it until I was much older, and I had to like I always thought about when I was a kid. I was like, why the fuck? What is he doing?
Yeah.
And growing up, I always thought he was trying to like put like an egg or something in her throat because I was a kid.
Yeah.
So, but like as an adult, when you read about it, Ridley Scott could be just making this shit up. I don't know.
Of course.
But he said that it was supposed to be like a reference to sexual assault because he's using a porn mag and he's stuffing it down her throat.
And he hasn't got the utensils to do it. So it's this I mean, I read a bit into it, and they were like, he has the frustration of an artificial being wanting to try to mimic sexual assault. But if you look at the context of things, this whole thing's about male rape and pregnancy and rape, not just male rape, but just rape generally. So there is this whole idea of it. And when he's doing that, and that always threw me. And then how, you know, when, so the guy comes and he just puts his hand on his chest and does this kind of kung fu, like, and then just one swift hit to the head and it's all over. And remember that design of the milk blood and all that stuff like coming out of him? I'll never forget that as a kid thinking.
It's got so many phallic symbols in it as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's a bit of a weird film in that regards. Like a lot of people said, like the aesthetic of Alien, like really inspired a lot of mainstream BDSM stuff. And
I was going to say lifestyles.
Yeah, like even stuff you could buy like in sex shops. Like if you're S&M type stuff. I've read an article about that and how like the Alien aesthetic is like literally design that. So it's really interesting like that. And there are like people on Reddit and on the internet who claim that there's something about the film Alien that is like overtly sexual. And I find that strange because to me, like I don't watch it and feel that on any level, but it just shows you that like there's loads of kind of there's loads of like hidden imagery that actually is doing things to your mind that you don't realize until you keep watching it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, shit.
Very steamy and sweaty as well.
It's steamy,
you know, like,
yeah, absolutely. There's so many little the underwear scene where you're like, nobody wears that size underwear. This is, do you know what I mean? Like, this is, what are we doing here, people? Obviously,
it smells a bit.
yeah, exactly. And didn't they like digitally remove her pubic hair? And she got really annoyed about it. She was like, "This woman's been, they were like, this woman's been in fucking stasis for like 50 odd years or whatever it is." And you're like, "Fucking take." Of course, it would be there. So no, it would be. You don't have to go Easter egg hunting that far if you don't want to. But I was looking. There's some like the tagline we've talked about. I also want to talk about the trailer, but the tagline. We talk about the design, but it extends into other things. The poster, I tagged you guys today on socials on a fucking poster from Japan, which is incredible. And you look at these posters, you talked about the poster earlier, incredible design, one of the most perfect posters ever. The tagline, no one can hear you scream in space, right? So that's where we're going. I did look this up, guys. If someone were to scream in space, the sound wouldn't even leave their mouths. So if you are going to be scientific about it, that's essentially what happens. But I didn't want to just rain on this parade. The trailer. Does anybody remember seeing this trailer? Because I do remember seeing this trailer and being like, holy fucking shit, what is this? Like the typography that they use at the beginning of the film as well. Everything about that. Do you guys remember watching this trailer, I suppose, or did you go straight to the film?
I don't actually remember ever seeing it. No.
No? You should. It's like do you know what it is? It's the exact blueprint of what you see now. You know, this kind of like shots, a really weird like sound through it, like one kind of monotone sound, and then like just shots of, I think it's just like a ringing of the alarm or whatever, and it's just like, this is so modern. 1979, can't believe that this is exactly what we still have today. They haven't evolved at all. So yeah, no, absolutely. Shout out John Hurt, by the way. We haven't talked, but there's an English guy in here and he's amazing. I love the way he's eating the noodles before he goes. He's just so messy, and he's just like, are you sitting next to a guy who just had something strapped to his face for lunch? Are you doing that? Alaska's like, I am doing that.
From a being that melted through his helmet. Right? Like, didn't it like melt through his helmet to get to his face?
Yes.
But like the way he eats those noodles, it's like he knows that's his last meal. It's like quite interesting. It's like
Ash
really
definitely, Ash definitely knows it's his last meal because he's watching him. He's just like watching him.
It's also interesting when you go to the pregnancy dichotomy of like he's eating for two at that point.
Oh shit!
Right? He has
Kane's son. Kane's son.
Like throwing food in. One of the things with his character that's interesting when you start getting into the follow-up movies, the person that tends to wake up first is actually the android.
That's interesting.
like, seeing it at the time, you wouldn't realize that. But even watching it again in my head, I was like, oh, he's the android.
Yes.
And then it wasn't until halfway through, I was like, oh no, he's not the android. It's the other dude.
It's the other guy. That's fascinating. Yeah, because he doesn't. John Hurt wakes up first, doesn't he? And they're all named after the alphabet, aren't they? So this is Ash, then there's B, then C, then all the way up to David, I think. So there is that little kind of Easter egg there as well. I was looking at some what ifs, and we have to talk about Ridley Scott, I suppose, in a bit as well. And I think we've covered Geiger. I don't think we can talk any more about his sexual thoughts. But I had a bit of trivia and a bit of what ifs as well for you. So I think a lot of people know about, it was supposed to be called Star Beast and all these other things. But what ifs, some what ifs here for you people. Directors it could have been at that time that were apparently muted to make this film. Spielberg, but he was doing 1941. So this is coming after Close Encounters. So imagine where Spielberg is in his career. He does Alien. Or Roger Altman. And you think Altman would be so not... I can see where he lives in this film now, but I can't even imagine how that would have looked. But yeah, thoughts, guys? Or is there a director you'd have wanted in 1979, 1980 to make this?
No one else. Maybe Cronenberg, maybe that'll be it. But then I don't know. Like maybe
Toby Hooper, maybe.
Yeah, one of those two. That's it.
Or I guess Carpenter too, potentially.
Yeah,
he made The Thing, right? So it's his like kind of Alien, I suppose.
But wouldn't it be cool if Kubrick made it? I mean, it would be the B-side to 2001. He could destroy the mythology of that movie. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, great shout.
Spielberg would have been interesting. He probably would have made a great movie. It just wouldn't have been this.
It wouldn't have been a hard movie. It would have been like some weird like space action, kind of like Alien.
Yeah. How do you squeeze in divorce? There'd be something about a kid getting, left by his parents somewhere. So I suppose that would be in it. One thing I do love about the archetype of the follow-ups, by the way, and I can't even talk about Covenant with you, Alaska, so I'm sorry, but I can't. But the fact that
I like Covenant too. It's a good film.
My good Lord. I've got so... I haven't been, there's only a few times I've been viscerally very angry in a cinema, and that is one of the times I was just genuinely quite angry.
But Michael Fassbender's performance in that movie is incredible.
I mean, that's half the reason I went. I love Fassbender, man.
The duality in that film.
I know.
And I'm sorry, but people who say they love Prometheus and they're like, Prometheus is this masterpiece. It's just such bullshit.
I won't call it Prometheus. I do like it.
I actually meant Prometheus. Sorry.
I
like Covenant too, but Prometheus is the one I love.
Prometheus is amazing. I love Prometheus.
I hate it. It's one of the wankiest fucking movies ever, man.
Wow.
Like, she gives birth and then she's sprinting around 10 minutes after.
It's the Force Awakens to Aliens.
I mean,
it's like Aliens made for modern.
It is.
Yeah.
The acting's like wooden in it, and it's just like boring. It's like such a boring film. Like nothing.
I suppose I do, but it does have that one great scene, mate, about with the incision and all that. That is, that's Prometheus, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a good scene. I don't love it.
Oh man, I love how we can do this. And Mike's staying there quiet in the corner, not saying anything, doesn't want to get
I think it's fine. I see why people hate it. It's not something I return to. I've watched it maybe 3 times in my life. I only hated it the first time I watched it because I thought it was an actual Aliens prequel. So I thought we were going to see xenomorphs in it. Yes. And when instead we saw that little weird triangle-faced dog thing, I was like, this is bullshit. What the fuck is that? But when I watch it, like if I watched it now, I don't imagine I would hate it, but it doesn't stick with me. And I actually don't even remember Covenant. I don't remember hating that either, but I feel like I need to go rewatch it now.
Well, what I was going to say about Covenant is they do the same archetype. So Harry Dean Stanton's guy is Kenny Powers. So now says Kenny Powers in space. And you're like, is this what we're doing? Like Kenny Powers is so on the note. Like, I love Kenny Powers. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoy that character. But then when you see him doing that, I'm like, oh, so we're just doing what they did in the first one.
Do you think so though? I think his character's quite different because Harry Dean Stanton's quite drab. Like he doesn't strike me as the kind of person that would save the day. Like I think he'd be downstairs in the basement smoking a fag. Like, that's what, like, I don't think he'd be,
bro, on that.
Like, yeah.
Sorry, but what are those fags? The cigarettes they're smoking.
We call cigarettes.
I've just realised what I've said. I'm so sorry for people. That's what we call cigarettes here, and I apologise. But those cigarettes they have, what are they? They're like these yellowy.
The 808 podcast was red pilled.
I'm getting cancelled after all these years, and it's because I'm talking about smoking. Unbelievable. But what are they? What are those things? Like, I don't know. They're like these orangey, like weird
They look
cigarettes.
just like hand rolled, right?
Oh,
That's
are
what
they?
I thought.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's a scene
like
where Brett's rolling one, right?
Yeah. There's a scene where he's rolling one.
It makes you want to smoke cigarettes, like for real.
Yeah, the way they're smoking
yeah.
them. Yeah, that's what he's saying. When he's
As a former smoker, nothing's more enjoyable than smoking.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I agree.
I don't know. Like, if anybody else has ever smoked, it's like it's the greatest. It kills you, and you feel yourself dying with each inhale. But
it's worth it.
Close to the breach.
It is the greatest. Oh, amazing. But yeah, no, I mean, we can go to some of these other what ifs as well. Meryl Streep as Ripley. People here for that?
Nah.
1979
No,
Meryl Streep, though. Remember,
she's too statuesque, I think.
Yeah, she's too pretty and too like,
Yeah. Yeah, she is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that. I think it was, husband Cazal, isn't it? Had died at that time. So I don't think she wanted to do it because of that. But do you know, when we talk about journeys with this film, one of my journeys, by the way, you talk about Meryl Streep and Sigourney Weaver. My wife doesn't watch any horror with me, ever. Right? She hates, like, Scream maybe, but that's it. But Alien, she will forcibly tell me we're going to watch Alien. I'm like, this is like horror. I don't understand how you don't see this as horror. It's like, sci-fi. This is sci-fi. It's completely different. And she can just compartmentalize it. And I'm like, oh yeah, the actual genre. I know people out there who don't think this is a horror. They think it's a sci-fi. I didn't think you said it, Mike, earlier, where you say when you went to the video shop, it was actually in the horror section or something. And yeah, just a little interesting perception of this film as we've got.
It's quite gothic, isn't it? It's quite gothic as well. Like,
yeah.
I think years ago I went to see this like exhibition about like gothic cinema, and Alien was like cited among it as a kind of continuation of it, and that's interesting. Like, it is kind of like a kind of I don't know, like a kind of Edgar Allan Poe poem mixed with sci-fi, like in ways. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of quite classically horror in many ways too.
Yeah, good point. I never really thought it in the gothic sense, but yeah, I can actually see it when you say it like that. Definitely.
Yeah, just the darkness of it and the colours and just like the strange symbolism, the shapes, like, all of that is quite like prominent in gothic cinema or literature. Yeah,
I enjoy that. Here's another what if for you guys. I'm sure you probably, if you've dug into the director's commentaries or whatever, there was an alternate ending to this. Let me know if any of you would have taken this. So you've watched the whole film. The alien comes out at the end. She's in the spacesuit, all that. The alternate ending was the alien knocks off Ripley's head, already mad, assumes her voice, and types into the keypad to get to Earth or wherever she was going. That was an alternate ending. Please, thoughts? Anybody here for that? I've got half a feeling Alaska might want that.
We're not talking about this movie if that happens.
That sounds trash as fuck. I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
that sounds so whack.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
That sounds like it. This is 79, right? So they're just going back to the 50s, like B movie. And I know there's a lot of like B movie stuff about this, but yeah, no, that I had to just bring that out because I thought that is crazy.
And the test audiences were probably that in that era, like they were so big to like the endings might change like 5-10 times in the late 70s Hollywood system movie. So I bet they probably debuted that to a test audience. They're like, nah, fuck that.
yeah, I can see that. Guys, how about director's cut compared to the theatrical cut? From everything I've read, Ridley did the director's cut for money. They really did it for money. But I think it's actually shorter, isn't it? The director's cut by about 47 seconds or something. But they have all these other different scenes in there. People, which ones do you prefer?
I don't think I've seen the director's cut.
Aha.
You're not missing shit. Like, I think the only thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Thomas and Cam, I'm pretty sure the only big difference was there was a scene with, I believe it's Dallas,
he's
right?
In a cocoon, right?
In a cocoon.
But he's like transforming or some shit into one of the aliens. It's fucking stupid. It looks cool, but it makes no sense in context of the film.
Yeah. Do you know that scene itself? I was looking into that, and there's people who have made, like, obviously it's Reddit, have made actual theories of why it does make sense, Mike. And I'm like, it still doesn't to me. It doesn't to me, though. It still doesn't. Like, you have the queen in the second one. That's the way with the eggs, and that's the life cycle.
Can we talk about the albums it reminds us of?
I am going to go into them categories. I can't
wait to hear what Mike has to say. Like,
yes, absolutely. Yeah, I will jog this along, definitely. But that do go check out that, because they're talking about like how the life cycle, if you haven't got a host, you can still just stay into a sack and become that. Either way, is what. Please go check it out. But we have got categories that you have alluded to, Thomas. We have our horror film categories here coming into it. Right, let's do this. If this was a hip hop album, what would it be? Now, I am going to go to Mike then first, I suppose. Mike, if this was a hip hop album, what would Alien be?
I fucked this question up, guys. I'm so sorry. I read this in my brain when I was like doing other shit.
Mm-hmm.
I read this as what hip hop artist would this remind you of instead of album? And the first thing that popped in my head was, and y'all are gonna think I'm crazy maybe, but Lord Finesse, only because he's so underrated as far as being like a rapper producer. I actually think that he's top 5 rapper producer of all time.
100%.
And
Boom.
he like influenced a lot of shit afterwards. Even when it comes to like using like weird samples, like he influenced so many people and so many folks don't even know. But then when you go back and listen, you're like, oh shit, this dude was next level the fucking, So I kind of look at Alien the same way, in that, not necessarily that it's underrated, but people are kind of like, oh yeah, it's this fun sci-fi film. And that's kind of it until you talk to dorks like us who were like, no.
Wayland.
Like you don't fucking understand how influential this movie is. So I read it as artist. And if I was going to rate it as artist, I mean, I guess I can say Return of the Funky Man if I had to make it an album.
Yes. Oh, that's a great little shout. Okay. I enjoyed that, what you did. Maybe we just make that the category. What rapper is this thing? Is this film? Thomas, what did you have for the album?
To me, it's a lot like Yeezus by Kanye West. Like, it's got this unhinged, dark sensibility, nihilistic. There's like a weird sexual element that pulsates through the work. There's like moments where it's chill, and then all of a sudden it goes into complete sadistic kind of madness. And I think as an album that, to me, the atmosphere of that album is very like, you can see how it's probably inspired by Alien and the score. But like, I think more widely, it's kind of like one of like, at bits, it's quite a chill movie at bits. Like when you see him going through space, it's surprisingly quite relaxing, and the music can be quite relaxing too. It can be quite ambient. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like Brian Eno's ambient Foreign Land. And then all of a sudden it just descends into Machine Metal Music by Lou Reed. Like, and just absolute evil, sadistic, like you're stuck in a boiler room and loads of metal's falling on your head. So it's kind of like this combination, I think, between those two albums, like more widely, but hip hop wise, I'd say something like Yeezus, or even like something like Relapse by Eminem, just something that has like something quite sadistic and skin crawling that sort of like runs through the epicenter of it.
Okay, you've gone a completely different angle to where I went, but yeah, Alaska. What about you?
I'm going with Stress the Extinction Agenda.
Oh, good shout.
Organized Confusion. I think just, the title alone sort of describes the movie to a T. It's very stressful, and there's something with an extinction agenda. Actually, 2 things if you consider Ash as well.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, very good shout.
That. Very good shout. I found the first Organized Confusion album on vinyl, first press. I got it for like 15 quid, but this was like 10 years ago.
Wow.
What?
Now I think I could sell that for like 150 easy.
Yeah, definitely.
The guy just had no idea the value of it, and it was like I felt bad taking it off him, but then it reminds me. It's like at school, if they don't know the value of their Pokemon, well, that's on them.
That's on them.
Yeah.
That is on them. I'm absolutely with that. Oh man, there's nothing like that. Absolutely. Love that. I had, because I was looking at it, my last watch, a lot. Okay, this hasn't got the horror, it hasn't got the skin crawling, but it definitely has the world building, and it definitely has the class struggles. And I was thinking Deltron 3030. Deltron 3030 has that.
100%.
It's space, obviously, as well. So yeah, that's where my mind kind of.
What about just thinking quickly, like the Cold Vein by Cannibal Ox?
Cold Vein, I can see that.
I was originally thinking Fun Crusher.
Fun Crusher Plus, yes.
Another LP production, but
yes.
I have another CoFlow reference somewhere else in our questions. I didn't want to be all CoFlow all the time.
I thought that too. I just didn't want to be the fucking cornball that always brings up company flow. I feel like that's me. So, but I'm with you 100%.
Please do. We should have a section. Actually, I'm going to make this a section. Where does company flow fit into this horror film? Right? That's where does. I'm actually right.
Good question.
Company flow fit into, because it's always going to be us guys, isn't it? So horror film.
You could say that They Live is Dead Disney as a song. You know? Okay. Enjoy this.
Okay, here's the next category then. You have to replace one character or actor, right, in this film with a rapper. Who's it going to be? I'm not even sure if I passed this on to you guys. I hope I did. But if I didn't, I have one here. You have to replace one character or actor with a rapper. And I thought, well, I think Cool Keith kind of should be in here somewhere because he is an actual alien.
He'd be a xenomorph.
I had him down as the android. I was looking at all the people. I was like, Cool Keith as the android. Imagine giving him that brief as well, being like,
that's such a good shout.
Keith, you're going to be the android.
Can I just jump in and say that's the weirdest interview I've ever done in my life? I was supposed to interview right for this piece on 50 years of hip hop, and it was just going to be like 10 minutes, like a reflection. We'd already and for 45 minutes, he spoke about all the cheeses that he ate when he visited France and all the nudist beaches that he visited.
Amazing.
And how like the people in Europe smelt differently. And that guy is such a character. He's such a legend.
That's amazing. Please send me them off cuts, whatever they are. If you've got them tapes, this is incredible. I need to know what cheeses he's been eating. Alaska, any shout from you, my friend, on one rapper that could be in here?
Devin the Dude as Brett.
Oh, yeah.
You just want to add weed to this movie.
Just add some weed to it. He's rolling his own.
Yeah, he's rolling his own. He is.
Seems like he would just be the type of dude that says right a lot.
Right.
So hot.
Yeah. That's a great shout.
That pecker toy that the speed
goes down. Yeah, that toy, yeah.
Big doobie ashtray underneath it.
That's a great shout. Yeah, I love that. God, that's a great answer, actually. Mike, did you have one?
I don't remember seeing this question.
I think I might have added it later. I'm sorry if I did.
Yeah. No, it's not your fault. It's my fault for not reading thoroughly. For some reason, and this is so stupid, but I always think of Ice Cube being in this movie. I don't know who the hell he would be.
Okay.
Maybe Ripley? I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know why. Every time I watch this, I see Ice Cube's stupid angry face that he always makes.
Yeah.
I see him being in this. Maybe if he replaced him with Yaphet Kotto, because I like Yaphet Kotto as an actor. I don't love him in this film.
Oh, really?
I don't take him seriously. When he's trying to kill the xenomorph and he's telling Lambert to get out of the way because he doesn't want it to, spray on her. I don't take him seriously when he runs and jumps at it because it looks like he's laughing. Right. But I feel like I would take Ice Cube seriously if he was running and jumping towards it. I'd be like, 100%. Oh yeah, fuck that alien up.
Yeah.
It could be a combination of his character Craig in Friday and his character from Anaconda.
Anaconda. Oh, it's the cinema to watch that. J-Lo was the main reason. Ice Cube was second, but I did go to the cinema.
That's where he punched the snake in the face.
Yeah, I think it is pretty much that one. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. Makes sense.
I think there can be two black people in a horror film. So I would put him as Dallas. Yeah. I'd keep Koto and I'd put Cube as Dallas. And now you've got two guys. All right, what are you going to do now? I think there's what podcast is it which says it should be, is it Rewatchables that says all black cast? Could this have an all black cast? I'm like, Cube could lead that on this film and that would be a great watch. But yeah, no, we could just steal that category for them. No one listens to us. I
think I'd replace Ash with AI Tupac. So,
don't. We don't want to.
Will I Am.
Because
Will I Am from the election.
Or that one of those two would be
Will I Am. AI Tupac. Someone had to bring.
Because I think give it 6 months and AI Tupac will be like the voice on every TV advert. Probably that's the way things are headed.
Jesus. I will need to have your thoughts on this beef later, I'm sure. But okay, here we go. Most hip hop moment in the film. I have to say, I let you guys down here a little bit. I was racking my brain thinking, is that hip hop? That's quite hip hop. I think the most hip hop moment was arguing over the bonuses. I know I've used that a lot, but I'm like, I hear a lot about rappers arguing over finances and shit and people with studios. So I'm going with that again, which is arguing over bonuses. Seems to be
Harry Dean's dancing the way he smokes the cigarette. That is it. Like,
okay, that's very hip hop. Yes,
that's kind of like reminds me of like the first time I saw Snoop Dogg like smoke a blunt or something. You know?
Yes. How hip hop is Jonesy? That's the thing. Is Jonesy even hip hop? I don't know. This is, we talk about Jonesy backing her up, but I don't know, man. Anybody else? Most hip hop moments? Anybody got one?
I would say the posse cut element of the cast. Like the cast is all fucking monsters, right? Like think about it like, I don't know, like the symphony before everybody was huge, like that thing like hit, or Wu-Tang, like the first Wu-Tang song.
I enjoy
this.
You
didn't realize how big everybody was going to be, but you were like, holy shit, this is special.
I enjoy that. That's such a great take. Yeah. Okay, if we're going to spin that then, posse cut, is this a dream blunt rotation for you, Thomas? Think about that whilst I go to Mike for his most hip hop moment. But I was thinking of dream blunt rotations. I was like, this cast blunt rotation, let's go. Mike, for you, most hip hop moment?
This is also me being a fucking dork, but again, when I watch the film every single time, and I'm thinking that this has probably been like this since I was a kid, but every single time Ripley's on the ship and she thinks it's over and the fucking alien fucking pops his arm out and you're like, oh shit, he's still here. I always hear Don't Call It a Comeback in my head. Every single time. Even when I watched it yesterday, it pops in there. It's like it's so fucking lame and corny. I've never like said it out loud or anything, but saying it out loud makes it cornier. But like, I mean, it does remind me of rappers, like especially washed up ass rappers that like, you know, you should be gone. Like we fucking killed you. We left you behind. And like, nah, man, here's 444. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, I'll listen to it. You know?
Oh, that's great. This is great. This is the nonsense I'm here for. We can.
You say dream blunt. Do you say dream blunt rotation? I'd say Harry Dean Stanton, Sigourney Weaver, and the Xenomorph. Because it just if it smoked something, like just imagine how much more relaxed it would be.
Yeah, you don't need to pregnate everything. You don't need to kill and eat everything. Let's just chill.
That's the moral of the story.
It's got a lot of boys as well. It's got a lot of mates as well. That all the mates would want a little toke as well. Okay, I don't know why we're doing this, but we're just adding more categories to this nonsense. You see, we talked about how this film has been over-analysed over the 40 years. No one's done this. I don't think anybody talked about Cool Keith and Alien. So there we go. Here we go. What's the next one? Okay. I gave you worst rapper to be stuck on the Nostromo or an alien-infested spaceship with, right? I'm going to just tweak that as well. Worst rapper to be stuck on this ship with and best rapper to be stuck on this ship with. Alaska, what have you got, my friend? And yeah, take your time.
Worst rapper would be Kanye. I just couldn't imagine being stuck in it.
I think, again, he's the answer to this every time, isn't he? And I think this is a Kanye
if it's
section,
open
isn't it?
fields and I could get away from him, fine. Yeah. It's like entertaining to be around for a minute, but like if you're stuck with him for 50 years,
yeah,
that's a lot. Best rapper? It's a tough one.
I can go to Mike on his worst or Thomas on his worst.
Yeah, let's go through the worst. Give me some time to think about
on their worst ones.
I read this one wrong again.
I like your categories more, Mike.
I'm an idiot. Like I'm gonna pivot. Worst rapper to be stuck. I go fucking Eminem, dude. I go Eminem because he's probably a nice guy. I hate to always pick on him, but I feel like he would just fucking rap about everything that's happening. He'd be fucking like, you know what I mean? Like he would rap like every single thing. There's an alien. Who let him in? You know, it'd be like, dude, shut up, man. Nobody wants to hear this shit. Like, chill out.
Yeah, he'd constantly be rapping. I love rap, bro, but we need to get out of here and save the cat. You know, that's the situation.
Save the cat. Where's he at? Like, dude.
I'm going to go to Thomas on his worst, but my worst was, and I have a moment of why not to be with this guy at this exact moment, right? Kendrick's just dropped this latest beef first, right? And you're with Drake on the Nostromo and he's just heard it. And then it's just over. You're with Drake, and now all he is doing is, oh, I've got to do this. Oh, what if I do this? Oh, no. What about AI? What if I use? And you're like, I just don't need to be with you, please. Can you go down to the deck and get the cat? You're gonna go. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not having this.
Then hit the fucking bay door, so he just sucks out space.
Yeah. So I think Drake, when he hears someone has beef with him, is what I would go for. Thomas.
You got me thinking of the Drake song now, where he's like, what's a prince to a king? So good. No. I think that's what he says, isn't it? What's a prince to a king?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I love that line. So smart, because it's like Michael Jackson's son was called Prince. But I would say, like, if a rapper was super loud, like, I wouldn't want to be around them, because the xenomorph,
I like
that shit. Really put us under risk. So I wouldn't want Lil Jon, because those ad libs would just travel around in Australia. You'd be hearing that. Okay,
it's true. Yeah,
I'm not dying because of Lil Jon. Like, I died enough because of Lil Jon.
I think that's got to be the next T. If we're ever doing T's, I'm not dying because of Little John is the T-shirt I would like to wear at a festival. What's that about? Trust me, you need to listen. Amazing. Best rapper then. I can kick it off if you want. Hopefully it might spark something for you guys as well. Best rapper to be with. What did I have here? I haven't even written it down. Oh no. Let me try to remember what it was now. Best rapper to be with. Oh, yeah, this is it. So the best rapper to be with. I think at any time, if I'm ever going to find God, it's when there's an alien about to kill me. And I'm like, I kind of need to believe there's something else after this next like 5 minutes, right? So I would want someone to lead me into prayer of some sort, and it has to be DMX. I'm like, I hope X is here with me, and he can just hold my hand. We get on our knees, take me there, X, take me to that land, because I'm about to go. And I think that was my roundabout way of like, I think DMX. I mean, there's reasons for why he would be the worst, absolutely. But one, he probably hates cats because he loves dogs, so that's one thing. And
what about when he starts talking to Damien? I mean, you're not going to enjoy that, man.
No, I know. That's when he's snuck in on the blunt rotation, you see. You're like, no, don't give him any of this. But yeah, no. So I had DMX. Alaska, have you managed to find someone for yourself? No?
Yeah, I found two people, and for two different reasons. So the first is T.I., because he has a massive weapons collection. Right? Like, when he got busted, he had a shit ton of guns.
That's cool.
So T.I. for his weaponry, and then Bun B for his culinary skills. You see the food they're eating on there. I'll eat a Bun B smash burger over anything they had. Plastic bin. So.
Yes. And the look of the food they're eating in Alien, a smash burger would be a dream at that point. Yeah. Oh man, I'm so glad I'm doing this with you guys. I never even thought of that. Mike, anything for you, my friend?
Gucci. There's no rapper that I'd want on there other than Gucci. Just because if anybody can live through the fucking the acid blood, it's Gucci. If anybody can beat the shit out of it's Gucci. The alien's not fucking with Gucci. I think the alien would see Gucci and be like, all right, hey, y'all got it. I'm out. Like, I'm leaving this shit alone.
Like pre-clone Gucci.
Pre-clone, angry Gucci. Fat Gucci. Not skinny, happy Gucci.
Is this the Gucci 100%. Where the meme went around where he's going in court and she's like, oh, you guilty? He went, I might be, bitch.
Bitch, I might be.
Bitch, I might be. that Gucci is the Gucci. I always, Gucci. Yeah, bitch, I might be.
That guy's a legend.
That needs to be on a T. That needs to be on a T.
Mine would be kind of cross between two. One would be Carr, because he's so philosophical and so rational that I think we'd make good decisions and we would both survive till the end. And
I enjoy that.
Like, react emotionally, and he'd like teach me some wisdom about like how the xenomorph is like the sins of our father or some shit like that. And the other person would be,
he could put out fires as well, Thomas.
Exactly. That was the other point. When the flamethrower comes out, that guy is valuable at that point. Right?
Yes.
And I think the other person would probably be Tupac, because I think, I think he wouldn't be afraid to fire at the xenomorph and maybe kill it. Like, I just think that he'd be very effective. And I'd quite like to hear his thug life bitch being the last words the xenomorph hears before it perishes.
That's the alternate, isn't it? It's like, get away from her, you bitch. It's thug life, bitch. Bang. Yeah. No, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Tupac, for my money, and it is the only other rapper who shot at two police officers when they were like racially abusing somebody. So I think that he's the one. Like, the xenomorph wouldn't stand a chance.
Okay. Okay, I'm enjoying this. Have I left anyone out here? Have we done best and worst for everyone? Have I missed anyone? No? Okay, good. Because I usually do that. I usually end up missing someone. So, okay, right. I'm enjoying that. What's the next one we got here? And we will try to run through these. I know these are taking... Well, this is longer than the analysis of the bloody film. Let's have a look. Right, one rap song or rap cameo you can have in this film, right? I couldn't really think of a song to go in this because I don't really know what fits this kind of mold, really, unless it's more ambient. So I thought, what rap cameo? And you thought about Ice Cube, right, which is a good shout. And I thought, if you had Queen Latifah as the voice of Mother, right, that would be quite cool. But what if you had, so Queen Latifah as the voice of Mother, but what if there was an alternate and it was Father? And I was like, what if it wasn't Mother and it was Father? And Father's the guy. And I thought Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane, and the pun is firmly intended there. Big Daddy Kane is father. I do get that, but it's also his voice in that role. I would absolutely be here for a bit of Kane in there, or Latifah. So that's where I went with one rap song or cameo. Did you guys have any? Free open floor?
I'm going Busta Rhymes from Halloween H2O. Halloween Resurrection, because I want to see him try to Jackie Chan the Xenomorph.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't want regular Busta Rhymes, that specific.
I want. There's only that Busta I need. Okay, I enjoy that.
Or like Halloween H2O, LL Cool J. Like
he's trying to write his book.
Exactly. He might go down early, but he'll come out of nowhere at the end and save you. So,
I always enjoyed that he came back, and I'm a big fan of H2O. We do need to probably talk about that film.
I love H2O.
Yeah, I love H2O as well. It's great, isn't it? So nostalgic. Mike, did you have any for this one?
I'm drawing a blank on this one.
That's fine.
When I wrote down my answers, this is the one that I didn't have an answer to because I was like, dang, I can't think of a rap cameo, like a rapper cameo.
Yeah.
If something pops in my head, I'll circle back.
Okay.
You brought Ice Cube into the mix.
You did actually, to be fair. So you've already done that. Yeah, actually, that's very true.
Yep.
Yeah, some people would say there's too many categories and they all kind of have the same answers. I think we just keep doing what we're doing and plow ahead.
Most people don't have podcasts.
I enjoy that. That's good. That's good shit. Okay, here we go. 3 more left. We're going to save the venerated one for the one I really want to make an actual award for at some point. I'm going to do this one first. Oscar Cass Swap, I've called it. Oscar Cass Swap, right? So you guys have to pick 1979 Oscars. We're going to go to the Oscars. Yeah, so we're going to go to the 1979 Oscars now, right? The best actor and actress nominees and winners of that year, right? You have to swap one of them into this film somewhere, right? So I've got them for you here. Don't worry about that. I've got you here. So best actors were Jon Voight, Warren Beatty, Gary Busey, I think that's the correct answer, isn't it, guys? Robert De Niro, Laurence Olivier. So they're the male. Female, Jane Fonda, Ingrid Bergman, Ellen Burstyn, Jill Clayburgh, I don't know who she is, Geraldine Page. So I only really know 2 of those people, Jane and Ingrid Bergman. I only know those 2. So you have to swap some of these people. They have to go in there. You can gender swap. So obviously, if there's, not enough of the female actors or not enough male, you can switch them about. You have to pick one, though, that to go in there.
Are we picking them based on their acting ability or based on the role that they were nominated for?
No, their acting ability. So just like, so Jon
Voight.
My
other question is, originally this was just cast swap. So I have different cast swap members that I would like to also
absolutely
share.
Bring them.
We can go through this part first.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. So if you have to pick one of these guys to be an alien, what are we going for? Jon Voight, Warren Beatty, Gary Busey, De Niro, Olivier. Who are we going
Can
with?
we look at best supporting as well?
Oh, I haven't looked at best. I've only looked at best actor. Sorry, guys.
One of the cast members was a best supporting actor. We could actually.
I think I would have De Niro definitely as
Dallas.
As Dallas, yeah. So I don't think you can swap out Harry Dean Stanton because he's just so great. But I think Dallas is a bit of a pussy in many ways, and like I think De Niro would be kind of cool, like going through the vaults of the ship, and you looking at me like right in the Xenomorph's face, like that type of. Yeah, I'd love that.
And constantly passing the book. I watch it now, and Dallas. That's all he does. Yeah, he don't have any responsibility. Just like,
and De Niro like rarely died, did he, in his movies? So it would be good to have him in it. And like everyone's like, De Niro's going to be the hero, and then he gets fucking killed. Like that. I'd love that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for that answer. Anybody else got any? We're all agreeing with De Niro.
I would go with De Niro, but I would have to go against Thomas and say put him in the Brett role, but playing a Lewis type character from Jackie Brown.
From Jackie Brown. Yes. Oh, do you know what? That is great. So retired, grizzly. Yeah. That means Jane Fonda would, like, we can bring Jane Fonda in as maybe Lambert then. And then you have the Bridget Fonda, Jane Fonda, De Niro nexus. There you go. Boom. I don't know why I'm even going down
maybe he has sex with both of them.
Why not?
Why not? I had Gary Busey. I'd take Gary Busey and I'd probably put him in. Yeah, I'd have to because he's just so. The Buddy Holly story? Jesus, he was nominated for that. So there we go.
As the Xenomorph.
I was thinking him as
He's got the teeth, right?
Like, yeah, that's true.
He has the teeth. Did you say, Mike, you'd have him as Ash?
I feel like I would have him as Ash, but then I also feel like he's so weird looking that we would automatically think something is wrong.
Yes.
So I don't think it would be surprised that he was, an android.
Okay. I'm enjoying that. Okay, then.
But Gary Busey 1979 is very different than Gary Busey post head injury.
True. That's very true. But actually, the rules are ours to break. It could be Gary Busey at any time. You could have.
Do you remember that fucking movie he was in where the kid's like a baseball player? What's that called? And like he breaks his arm, and then his arm's really fast.
Was it not Major Leagues?
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
I loved that movie when I was a kid. Honestly, like I loved it so much so that when I broke my arm, I was like, "This doesn't matter. Like, it's all right."
It helped you. That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
He was also the super cool uncle in Silver Bullet.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, "Oh man, I wish I had an uncle that brought beer and guns."
Shout out to Gary Busey.
Shout out Gary Busey. And the fact you brought up Silver Bullet, what a classic. Absolutely amazing. That was a video store classic when I was a kid. 100%.
Real quick though, can I give you my pick of what I thought the category was? Pick somebody from a 1979 movie.
Yes, let's do it.
So I don't know if any of you guys have seen Over the Edge. Which was like a teen rebellion movie.
Yeah, it's set in like
There's
a little
character
town
in that movie named Claude Zachary, who has acid in his pocket and it gets sprayed by the sprinklers or something. And he's in art class looking at Hieronymus Bosch paintings, tripping balls. I want that character going out to the planet to see the ship.
Yeah.
And just tripping balls looking at all that.
Can I say just one actor, just genuinely, who I think will make this film better? Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper, yeah. 79
Dennis Hopper just walking in at the middle of the hot terror, I don't know, just talking.
Give him an oxygen mask as well. Blue Velvet it up. Yeah. I'm so glad you brought up Over the Edge, by the way. What cult classic that is. Great shout.
I'm also friends with the actor that played Claude Zachary.
Oh, no way.
So I should note that.
Shout that out. Okay, so deep.
He paid you, didn't he, to say it?
He did. But he did take me to a screening. His daughter and my daughter are best friends, and that's how I met him.
Right.
I went to like a birthday party, and I was like, it's like all lawyers. And I was like, I'm not gonna know anybody. And he had the movie poster. I was like, oh, that movie's great. Like that's my idea of small talk. He was like, I'm in. And then like I saw the character, I saw his face. I was like, oh
shit! Wow, world is small, man. Small. Okay, then. So last two, we did have best kill, I was going to say, but I think we've kind of done kill, unless I thought
the chestbuster, right?
Yeah, chestburster, I would have thought. But obviously, please hit me up if you have any others. But the last two I have here, then the first one, Cannabis Feature Award. There was a moment in time in hip hop when Cannabis would jump on a track and steal that track from you. He would do that. There's a few people who did that. Redman, we all know this. Buster, people would do this, but we called it the Cannabis Feature Award because we enjoy it. A performance from this that almost steals the film. Or steals the film. Anyone who, I think it's a bit hard with this cast because, like I said earlier, there isn't really a lead who fully leads apart from Sigourney Weaver as it goes on. But for you guys, is there a performance that you think, that's the one, and it can't be Jonesy?
Yeah.
sorry, that's good. Brett, yeah. Or Cotto, he's good.
Yeah, I think that's a really good shout, Brett. But I'd maybe, just for the reasons we discussed earlier, maybe I would say Veronica Cartwright and Lambert, because that character's got more depth, I think, than maybe people give it credit for. Like, if you watch her face, like, she genuinely looks like she's going through like existential dread, and like some of the other actors just look cool, even though, like, do you know what I mean? Like, even though all this shit's kind of happening. So I would say that I'd say that her performance deserves more credit, definitely.
Yeah. Can we just shout on that Veronica Cartwright thing? That maybe I wonder how much of this informed her performance as well. That she was supposed to be Ripley. They told her she would be Ripley. She turned up, and then they were like,
"That's crazy.
You're not Ripley. You're Lambert." And she turned up thinking she was. That's how late she found out she was going to still, and she still played it. But maybe that did inform some of her performance in there.
And her performance is so good that you've got people on Reddit like debating, you know, what I said about the trans like theory and that dialogue that comes up in Aliens. So that just shows you how many levels there are to her performance in the movie, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. Anybody else got that? I think I'm with Lambert. I think I'm with Lambert, actually, now you said it. I think that's...
John Hurt as Kane as well. Like, come on, that's a great performance. John Hurt is amazing. Like, For you to believe the chestburster scene, you have to believe in him as an actor.
His throat, you know, when he throws back his head and his throat is like, it's almost like you said, body horror. Like, it is body horror, but it's like, I don't know if they did anything to his throat, but the way he sells it, oof. Yeah. I love the fact that it didn't burst through the first time. I love the fact that it burst through a few times after. Like, the first burst is just like a... And they're like, what? And that I love that little just detail, not to just do it straight away, which I know a few films would have just shot their load straight away. But Cannabis feature, I'm with Veronica Cartwright as well. You guys, Alaska, Mike, did you have any for this one?
That's it, Brett.
Brett, sorry, yes, Brett,
I go Brett too.
Okay. They're the
winners. I would call it a big pun instead of cannabis, I would say.
Yes, we can call it the Big Pun Feature Award. Absolutely. The last one I had here then, this is actually not really... It came about when we did Shaun of the Dead, and I know that Thomas and Mike went around for that episode, but I really enjoyed doing this with Alaska and Zilla for that episode, which was the zombie crate takedown. Now, this isn't Alien, but you can just put Alien in here. If there's an alien chasing, you can just do the same thing. But we all have watched Shaun of the Dead. We all know that moment where they've only got records to throw at this zombie or alien at this point, right? And they have to go through them and they have to chuck them. And which one of these are you chucking and keeping? And remember, at this point, the zombie is coming at you. Even if it's slowly, it is coming at you, right? So I'm going to go through my hip hop playlist on my Spotify. I'm going to shuffle, and we're going to go to which of these records you're throwing. So we're going through. The zombies come in, bang. First one. It's a Big Daddy thing by Big Daddy Kane. This is how the world works. Young, Gifted and Black just came up. That is on there. Are you chucking that or are you keeping that? We're throwing this in the zombie. Does anybody remember this album?
Yeah,
throw it in, Mike.
I like Big Daddy Kane, but I don't know if I like him enough to not throw it, so I'm throwing.
Boom. Okay, that's gone. Ice Cube, Lethal Injection. I'm not
throwing that.
I'm not throwing that. Keeping that. That was
that's going in a flash. That's when Cube started his descent. So I'm throwing.
I'm with you. I'm throwing that.
Oh, I like Predator.
He started rhyming like Mac 10.
Exactly.
Okay.
What's wrong with that?
Mac 10. You've seen his face, right? I can't take somebody that looks like that serious.
Amazing. Raekwon, The Wild.
Oh yeah, go off.
Going? I like that.
I'm hitting the xenomorph in the head. Like,
with that one, you're hitting it with that. Okay, dog food, dog pound. That's staying. There's no way I'm chucking. Oh my!
That's staying.
I've never cared about that album. So
yeah. I think that's arguably the best production of any Death Row album. So I'm keeping.
Thomas, me and you, my man. There's a song on there called Respect, and I think that two of you may have to show a bit more, maybe. I don't know. But I don't know why I do this. But yeah, okay, I've enjoyed that. Immortal Technique. Jesus, Revolutionary Volume 1. I loved that album as a kid, bro.
Me too.
I love this album.
That might actually kill the xenomorph if you kill it, because it will affect its mind, so it believes 9/11 was an inside job, and then it just like jumps out the ship.
It would
with Death March, right?
Yeah.
That shit's not going any fucking where. I'm killing every xenomorph in the room with that shit playing.
Yeah. I'm absolutely with that as well. Alaska with that one. Are you where? It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
I'm only going to do a few more.
My mic would be like to the Xenomorph, like, have you heard the song Dance with the Devil? Like,
It's 9 minutes, but just chill for 9 and you'll really get something out of it. Okay, I'm only going to do a few more, even though this is really more fun than talking about the film, astonishingly. Funk Your Head Up by Ultramagnetic MC. So about 92, 93. Don't know if anybody remembers this, but it's got Papa Large on it, stuff like that on there. But I think that's probably going for me because I've got my Ultramagnetic albums, I think. So
I don't think it's their best album, so I think I'd throw it. Yeah.
Okay, right. And let's go.
And it doesn't have the West. Which one's the better Papa Large? The East Coast or the West Coast remix? The one from the
East Coast.
I think it's East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't think that's on the record, right? Or is it?
I don't know. I don't know if that's. Then we've got away with it. Then then it can go. Bang, Xenomorph. Bang, straight in the head.
If you said Dr. Octagon, I'd be like, no, keep it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm absolutely with you. That's a classic. Got to stay. Okay, last one then. Kendrick Lamar's Damn.
Oh yeah, that's going. It's got Bono on it. Like that's the end of the discussion.
I mean, I can't really argue back against that. It has U2 on it. You are right. I thought they actually sounded quite. I'm not a U2 fan, but I did think that they worked okay on that. I think I might keep it. Sorry, guys. I don't know if anyone else is keeping Damn.
I'm keeping it. That's probably my favorite Kendrick album. I know it's crazy. I know, but
it's all good.
I'm not tossing that one.
I don't like Kendrick's voice. Like that's the only reason I don't like Kendrick.
I just think that song. What's that song? Lil T. There's too many. Like it's a great album, but it needs. If it had 2 or 3 of the songs cut off, it'd be a masterpiece.
Okay,
because it's got 2 or 3. I don't know. Like for me, that album for Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly, that's his like. I love that. When people were like dissing on Twitter a few weeks ago, I was like genuinely heartbroken. Like, oh, leave it alone.
I love the fact that we're allotting ourselves this much time to talk about it whilst the zombies coming or the xenomorphs coming, and you're like, hold on a minute, guys. We have to remember.
Like after everything we've seen done to the xenomorph, we think these records are going to take down the
I think you're right. It is a zombie crate takedown. That's why we're going to keep it like that. But yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't work for this one. That's too much. But guys, thank you so much. I mean, there's so much more we could talk about, but I think we've covered a lot, and I really appreciate all your energy, just insight, and it's great to know where you think of this film. And there will be more of these, by the way, guys, coming up. Like in this year, we've got, I think, the anniversary editions. We've kind of just nailed it into anniversaries. There's a ton in October, so I think we'll record a few before, and then we'll just lob them through you over Halloween. But we have got like Nightmare on Elm Street. I love
that.
Yeah, I am so, and I know Mike's a massive fan as well.
I could do actually for that episode if it will help. I've got audio from my interviews with both Robert Englund and and the actress that played Nancy. So why don't I send you the raw audio, and then if you want to chop that up,
yes,
like, obviously not my voice, but if you want to chop some of that into it, you can, like, definitely.
Oh, Thomas, big up, man. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And of course you'll be on the episode, but yeah, there are going to be like some big tentpole other masterpiece horrors coming out from us guys talking about them. But people, before we leave then, last great piece of music you heard, could be old, could be new, just the last great piece you heard. You can look at your Spotify's or your Apple Musics and look through what you've listened to. But yeah, please do let me know. I can actually kick it off then, actually, because I'm not sure. I think me and Alaska talked about this maybe over email or something. But man, I've got Cavalier here, Different Type Time, and Custard Spoon is. I'd had that on literally just before we logged on, and yeah, there's something about the album, man. It's just an amazing headphones listen. It's lush. It's a guy who's having a massive come up at the moment, and yeah, really, really enjoy that album. So yeah, man, Custard Spoon, which again, great album. The track name itself, Custard Spoon. I'm absolutely here for stuff like that.
It's not new, but it's the album that made a really big impact on me last year was this album called Ganger by this rapper called V's from Detroit.
Right.
And I've become more and more obsessed with it this year. It's like his rapping voice. It sounds like someone who's just woken up from a deep sleep and had like a light bulb moment. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like Colonel Kurtz if he was a rapper from Detroit. Like it's like just like very interesting like vocal delivery, and like I would say that album is like a future classic, I think. So I would definitely, I keep revisiting it. It just kind of the songs like kind of stick in my head. So yeah, I'd say that.
Enjoy that. Mike, what have you got?
I'm gonna go with an album I actually told Alaska about when I saw him in New York, and that's the new M. Saeed album called Air Tape 2, which I think is phenomenal. I'm saying that as someone that has not sat down with the Cavalier album yet, but considering it's gotten nothing but praise from people I trust, including y'all, I need to listen to it. Probably I'll do it today. But since I haven't listened to that, I'm definitely going with that new Saeed. It's absolutely incredible.
Wicked, wicked. Alaska?
I mean, the Cav album, we were talking about it. That's just overall, it's just a great listen. The new Blueprint EP is pretty dope. Just came out recently. I gave that a listen yesterday. And I've been listening to this Bobby Hutcherson record called Oblique.
Right.
One of my favorite jazz records ever. And it just sort of has made its way back into my heavy rotation. I highly
listen to that.
Like,
yeah, that's amazing, that music. I had a little bit of it. That's a great choice. Right.
Yeah, it's him on the xylophone and Herbie Hancock playing piano on it.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's like the interaction between the two of them is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I have just put them on my listen later playlist. Love that. This is it. This is the great taste. And you said it earlier, Mike, about like, I was saying to Alaska as well, my Twitter seems to have worked out amazingly because now the whole algorithm kind of curates like my next listen really well.
Oh, shit. Something just popped in my head. I know the album that the Alien is the Marble Index by
shit
Nico.
out of me, Thomas. I thought you were a chess person to see my man.
It's the Marble Index by Nico. That's the weirdest, darkest album ever. That's what Alien is as a film. You just like triggered that. So yeah.
Okay. Thank God you're okay.
I'm all right.
I'm also going to brag a little bit. I've been listening to the new Shrapnel record that's not out yet. And it's amazing.
You're killing it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
it's the benefits of being on Call Out Culture.
There you go. There you go. Love that. People, anything you want to pimp? Anything that's coming soon? Mike, I just realised we haven't talked to you since leaving Dead End. I hope it all went well for you, my man, and I'm looking forward to the next things that you do. Big yourself. We know we love all your work you've been doing on there. Absolutely. But yeah, man, let us know what you guys have got coming next. Anything you want to throw out there for the people out there listening? Alaska, kick off with you, my friend.
Well, I'm not sure which will be coming first, this or the Scarface episode that we did with yours truly.
Thank you.
Am joined us for that. I have a record coming out in August with Steel Tip Dove. It's our second album. It's called Reverberations of a Dead Man's Ego. So that's coming, and that's about it for now. Yeah.
That title is strong, my friend. That title is very
it's
strong.
Stolen from Foundation, the Isaac Asimov show.
I enjoy that. Mike, for you, how you doing on your end?
The only thing I'll tell people is to make sure you subscribe to my channel. I mean, of course, if you're subscribed to Dead End, stay subbed, and if you're not subbed, go sub because they're still doing it. But I'm going to try to put more work into my channel, so talking about more shit that I want to talk about, as opposed to talking about rap albums that I could not give half a fuck about.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure, Myke-C Town, MYKECTOWN.com. Yeah.
Wicked. Yeah, defo people, go check that. Thomas, what you got going?
So I think definitely one that might interest the listeners is like I've got like a Rock Marciano profile coming. And I think once people read this Rock Marci profile, like it will almost like make you feel more like, the man behind the music. I think he's got quite a lot of mystique around him. So I definitely feel like, I did that interview and I came off the phone and I was like, that's like probably the best interview I've ever done. Like, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, just generally, it's a pleasure to chop out with all of you guys. And I hope one day we could do this in person and have a pint and talk about Jason in space and say it's a good movie and all that type of shit. So yeah, no, it's a pleasure and I'm here for all of these. So just hit me up whenever. But Shaun of the Dead, I just, for me, it was just like, Simon Pegg he just pisses me off now. Like I used to love that guy in the space days, and you know. And then he suddenly got a hair transplant and started hanging out with Tom Cruise.
That's what
like. I just feel
that'll do
you
it.
know, like be a proud bald man, but don't. You know, I say I'm wearing a hat. No, I'm a proud bald man. Fuck it. Who gives a shit? Like own your boldness. Like Larry David says, be a proud bald man. Simon Pegg, you disappointed me.
Yeah. Oh man, that cut deep. That cut deep, man. Yeah, absolutely. Well, people, thank you so much. Go subscribe. All these people out there doing amazing work. Go check it. And yeah, just on to the next one, my peeps. But yeah, take it easy. Peace.